What is going on, ladies and gents? Coming back at you for another talking video. I've been doing a bunch of those lately. Hopefully you find value in them. Today I'm going to talk about a new approach that I'm going to take towards my nutrition. I'm going to kind of do some experimentation here. So yesterday's video is all about metabolic flexibility. No, I'm not about to go have a bunch of carbs, so don't get your hopes up there. But I do want to experiment with something that I heard about on the podcast I just recorded with Zach Griffith. That is not yet published yet. That'll be going live sometime next week. But he has a really interesting concept to how he goes about his day, and he's just killing it. Like he's a hunter, and he wakes up at 2:30. He goes trains hard, and he just eats one meal a day, and he just kills it. And I resonate with that because it takes the guesswork out of food. It makes it simple, and it makes it effective. And that's what I'm all about. That's why I did the 2 pounds in a brick. Like, the simpler it is, the more efficient it is, the more effective it is, the more I'm interested in it. I don't want to try and add a whole bunch of crazy variety. I don't want to try and just do a bunch of stuff that's unnecessary. So I learned a ton doing the 2 pounds in a brick. The one thing I would probably change, or the one thing I'm excited to try, is doing like an OMAD approach, 1 meal a day, now with what I've learned with just the simplicity from the 2 pounds in a brick. So basically, just kind of give you an idea of what I'm thinking. I want to, rather than having 2 pounds of meat and 1 keto brick, I'm probably going to have like 1 pound of like a red meat with, I got my macros here for a sample day. Let me just walk you through it here. So we got 1 pound of 75/25 ground beef. We have 2 tablespoons of MCT oil, 1 keto brick, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 cup of broccoli, 1 cup of Brussels sprouts, 1 cup of collard greens, and 2 ounces of like goat cheese or something similar, and then a can of the Wild Planet sardines in olive oil. And that breaks down to about 3,300 calories, 275 grams of fat, 30 grams of carbs, and 140 grams of protein. So 30 grams of carbs is pretty much the upper threshold of what I would ever take my carbohydrate count into, even in an off season. So I'm totally fine with staying at 30 grams. That gives me quite a bit more vegetation than I'm normally eating, but it puts my macros at about a 78% of my calories coming from fat. And I don't normally eat a whole lot of vegetation because I don't feel as well with the vegetation, especially if I'm having it throughout the day. But I think if I follow a 1 meal a day approach like I'm going to be, the bolus of vegetation right there is not really going to have a negative impact on me. I'm going to use it basically as a vehicle to deliver more fat. I'm going to saute all of that up, cook it all up, and just in one big cast iron skillet, honestly. Not the brick. I won't put the brick in the skillet. But everything else will be pretty much just cooked up in the skillet with the oil, the meats, the vegetables, soaking everything up. And that's pretty much going to be what I'm going to try and do, doing a 1 meal a day approach. The vegetation, the carb count on that being at 30 grams, like I said, it's a little higher than I typically go. With vegetables, the insoluble fiber is fermented in your digestive system, and a lot of that gets turned into butyrate, which is a short chain fatty acid. So it's kind of like indirectly a way to get more fatty acids in, but you have to kind of be cautious in doing that because you don't want to have like too much vegetation does not necessarily equal just a whole lot more butyrate. So you're not like, it's not like a one-on-one direct relationship by any means, but having that high fat ratio with the 1 meal a day approach and having most of those be from fibrous carbs, I feel like I'll be safe in having that much vegetation. And what I'm trying to figure out in doing this is, one, how it affects my outlook and just mental clarity throughout the day, how it affects how I think about food. I feel like with a 1 meal a day approach, like you eat 1 meal a day, you gorge yourself, you eat just a ton of food, and then you're done with it. You don't think about food the rest of the day. Like, you have that 1 meal a day, you look forward to it, you feast, and then you're done. You fast. So this is going to give me a longer fasting window, which I am a fan of. Like, I do like the whole extended fasting periods, and I'm curious to see how it makes my performance benefit in the gym. I'm probably going to time this so that I wake up early. I wake up at like 3 or 4 anyways, so I'll wake up early, I'll do some computer work, I'll train sometime in the early morning hours, probably around 5 o'clock, and then I'm kind of on the fence as to when I want to implement this big meal. Part of me wants to think about noon, midday, but I don't really like having a big meal in the middle of my working hours, because then I just, it's inevitable that you get a little bit tired after a meal if it's a big meal, even if it is ketogenic. So I might try and push that back towards the evening hours and have my first meal around like 5 or 6, or my only meal around 5 or 6. That way I've got plenty of a fasting window, plenty of hours fasting prior to training again. So I'm gonna not have a full stomach while I'm training. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards there. But this is just me talking. This is kind of what I'm gonna experiment with going forward. Crystal's been wanting to implement more veggies, and I feel like this would be a good way for us to be on the same page, keep things simple, keep things effective. I don't have a problem with veggies. I've never had a problem with veggies. I like doing like a carnivore, zero vegetable approach, like as a detox. I'm not like hardcore carnivore by any means. I like to remove all vegetation periodically just to kind of cleanse everything out. But then I like to incorporate them back in, which is what I'm going to be doing with this. But by keeping the fat ratio north of 78%, by making sure they all come from quality sources and vegetables, and then having enough quality lean protein, or enough quality protein there as well, I should be good to go. I'm going to be testing with this because, like I said, I don't normally eat that many carbs, so I'm going to start testing ketones before and after, and then 1 hour after, 2 hours after this big meal, just to see what they do. But yeah, it's kind of what I'm thinking of right now. I'll probably implement this on Monday. Monday's gonna be busy. By the way, we're doing Keto Brick launch on Sunday, so this video will go live on Sunday. So we're doing a Keto Brick launch the day you see this video at 12 noon Central Standard Time, and I'm probably going to be having this big meal sometime shortly thereafter. So I'll let you know how that goes. Get you a brick. These are all 3 flavors are going to be available at that time, and I'm going to keep that in the diet because I really, really, really did like the 2 pounds in a brick. I felt great. I'm curious to see if the vegetation that I'm going to add in right now is going to cause any digestive upset, but I'll let you know for sure. That said, I will see you tomorrow. Good day.